No? I saw today you have a PV, you have GV, you have G. What does it mean?
For the mood card.
Mood card, sir.
Oh, for mood card. Okay. I can understand. So PV, that means provisional valuer. G, that means assessor, maybe.
Oh, PV is private valuer, GV is government.
Oh, I see. GB is government valuer.
Yeah.
And G?
Government. Just government.
It's government.
Yep.
Okay. And then those who do not have any post here?
They all finished already, sir.
Huh? They finished
They all
already?
finished already.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Some haven't changed yet since they forgot, but some haven't finished yet. Tomorrow.
So, Aswin, you are private valuer.
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Sorry.
Okay. So just a joke. Okay. So
Sorry.
shall we start now?
Yep.
Okay. Let me share the screen. Let me record first. MK, you are government valuer.
No. I'm actually legal advisor lah. But
Yeah, he's waiting to kill me.
So why you use GV?
GV is I stand on government valuer side, but I got my post I write along with LA, GV2 LA. Legal advisor lah, which is.
And we also have timekeeper. Use PV. PV, I don't think timekeeper, in real situation, private valuer will become timekeeper.
It's required by the condition.
Amira,
Yeah, Doctor.
are you a timekeeper? And at the same time, you are private valuer?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I'm scared of Xiu Qing. She's a lawyer. Ooh. No, I know that. I'm not that scared when I see valuers, especially government valuers. But when I see a lawyer like Xiu Qing, I'm very scared. Xiu Qing, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you a lawyer?
Yeah, I'm the lawyer for the private.
Siti? Where is he? Okay, never mind. So I'll start to present the lecture now. Can you see the screen? My screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we have two final lectures on bridging finance and end finance. So if we talk in terms of the flow, we are supposed to see the bridging finance first. But it seems like if I start with bridging finance, so some based on my experience with your senior, they get a bit confused if I start with bridging finance. So today I decided to have end finance first to see how the thing goes. If you prefer to have a bridging finance first, so basically I will change again to bridging finance for your junior, unless if you come and join me again next year. So I hope it won't happen because my duty is to train you and then to let you go to practice in the market, unless if you are happy to be in the class forever. So we have seen the diagram before, how the end finance and the bridging, how the bridging finance and the end finance works. So now I'll try to explain in detail about the end finance. If you can recall the diagrams that I've shown you before, to show to differentiate between BTS and STB, and then we also started to see how the net cash flow is obtained through good phasing strategies as well as marketing strategies in order to get faster return on the development, that means the payback period. So now try to see the end finance, because like I said before, once the developer got several licenses, especially for marketing purposes. So basically, the income will start to come in once they started to sell the units. So the end finance is basically the loans, like I told you before, that will be provided by financial institution for the purpose of helping the buyers or the people like us to actually purchase the products. And then the end finance will actually be given after the bridging finance. But it doesn't mean that we have to wait the bridging finance finish and then we start to get the end finance. It can be that way if we use the build then sell concept. So usually we get bridging finance, not we, I mean it's the developer. You'll get a bridging finance, and after that the unit's completed and then they started to sell. So that means the end finance will actually come later. But under the sell then builds, usually the bridging finance come first, and then only after about between 30 to 50% the bridging finance has been used. So basically we started to launch, the developer started to launch the project, and at that time the income flow will be flowing in. So basically at that times we need end finance. So if you can recall the residual methods, so usually we use about 0.33 or 1/3 of the total cost of the project. So whenever we get whenever the developer apply for the project cost, so basically the bank will actually approve the figures, about 80% of the figures that they requested for. But basically in real situation, so we only need about 30% of the actual cost, and then we also multiply by half of the development period, and then we multiply by the interest rate. So that's how it works. So we don't need 100% of the total bridging finance that we applied for. Although we got, for example, 100 million from the financial institution, the more we have, the more that we need to pay, especially the interest that we have to cater. So basically, we try to cut costs. So as soon as we get the end finance, as soon as we get the income flow, therefore the bridging finance, the 100 million that we borrow, for example, will be actually reduced to only about 33 million instead of 100 million. But we need more, because we need 100 million because just in case the risks are involved, especially for example the increase in material costs, for example. So basically we have extra cash, extra money to actually come out with a remedy solution for our projects. So basically, we only need about 1/3 of the total cost that we requested for. So the end finance will actually be provided after the units have been advertised for sales. That means after the permit, um, the permit, advertisement permit has been obtained, so we can actually started to launch the project, and then end finance will actually be given by financial institutions that have been have been appointed by the developers to be the panel. So each financial institution will come up with different uh, types of end financing, different type of mortgages, like we have learned before. So the end final will actually allow buyers to make payments properly over times. Can be the normal practice is on monthly basis to the developer, but it won't go direct to the developer because we have the third schedule of payment, which we will actually see later. So when the unit are still under construction. So last time, like I mentioned to you, so developers, all the payments will actually be paid to developers, including the 90% loan approved by financial institution, but now no longer the case because the 90% will actually be kept under special accounts. So only developer can claim from that special account based on the progress that they have actually done throughout the development period. Last time, once the loan has been approved by financial institution, and the 90% will actually be paid directly to the developer's account, and that's the problem when the developer tends to run away. And then the repayment of and finance will actually be based on monthly repayments, where it includes the interest and principal payment. So like you have seen before, whether the CPM or AGM, CPM or uh, constant payment mortgage or constant amortization mortgage or graduated payment mortgage or any plump price level adjustment mortgage. So all of the mortgage that we have learned will actually include interest and principal, or interest for the Islamic one, profit, and then the principal. So that's why this is the main concept of the bridging finance. I asked you last time this question, but you did not know about the main concept, because all of the type of mortgages that we learn must involve interest and principal. And then the monthly repayment does not exceed 1/3 of the income of the buyer. This is the rule of thumb, and then it is not applicable now, but some financial institutions still refer to this formula in order to establish the eligibility of the applicant for any particular loan. We'll see how do we calculate this after a few slides here. So the developer will try to get the best offer from the bank for prospective buyers, prospective purchasers or buyers. So that's why if you go to the site office, normally there are several banks. So, try to several type of mortgages. It depends on you, which one do you prefer. So they will actually come up with attractive offer. So in terms of the interest or the profit or the interest rate charged by any financial institution will actually be different in terms of the rate. But the thing is, sometimes it can be offset with the offer given by those financial institutions. So you, as a real estate person, can actually assess the best one that suits your requirement. So, and finance will usually be given for the terms of between 10 to 35 years, but normally those who take 10 years, so usually, those cash rich people, but under normal market services and under the affordability of Malaysian citizens, usually we takes up to 35 years. So amongst the things or documents that are needed when we apply for bridging finance is basically statutory declaration, and it must be witnessed by a commissioner for oaths. So this is under the discretion of the bank, especially for those who have been declared bankrupt before. Then now when they apply for N finance, usually they need this kind of process. But for those who are good paymaster or who haven't applied for any bridging finance, and then through our salary slip, and then there will be no issues, and this process by the witness by commissioner for oaths will never take place. We just sign the SMP agreement, or we pay the 10% of the selling price, and then we can actually create a mortgage with the financial institution. And then the land title or the grants that are needed. So basically, can be either one. The SMP agreements usually for the project that has not been granted individual title yet. So we actually use the SMP agreement for that purpose. What I mean here, the strata title, but for the landed units, usually we will have the individual title already. Otherwise, we cannot proceed with the development. But for the SMP agreement for the strata title, because strata title needs time. Because it needs time, so we actually use the SMP agreement for the purpose of loan submission, and then with the SMP agreement is become valid already for strata title. And then a letter from the developers stating that the applicant has been given the units that they have chosen and whether the separate titles are available. So usually, like I said, for landed unit, the separate title will actually be available, but for the strata unit, we just use the SMP agreement. And then evidence of income must be there. So evidence of income can be either your salary slip, or it can either be your EC form. EC form means that the income tax that you have declared for one whole year. So basically, you have EC, E for Europe, C for China. So EC form to be submitted to the end financier, or to the to the what we call it, the panel that have been appointed by the developers for this purpose. And then the valuation report for sub-sale units must be obtained and submitted. But for the new unit, especially the unit under construction, so we don't need the valuation report, because the valuers will do valuation. We should be the same for the whole intermediate units, unless for the unit that have special factors that influence it. For example, it is facing proposed parks, for example, then the premium will be given about 5 to 10%. The same like the adjustment figures that you have actually learned from your comparison method. So basically, more or less the same. And then the guarantor settlement, if the banks requested for it. So basically, for government employees, we don't need a guarantor settlement. But if you work with private sector, sometimes if the financial institution thinks that our income is not that strong, especially for those who are still new, in the market. You got only started to work, and then obviously all those we can prove that we have good salary, but the thing is it has not been proved that we have been confirmed by the company. So basically guarantor settlement is required by the financial institution. And then whenever we deal with end financing, so basically we must deal with the debt service ratio. So the debt service ratio basically determine our eligibility, so how much that we can actually afford to purchase based on the net income that we should have at the end of after they have assessed. So the monthly financing installment will actually be based on our net monthly incomes, and then we take into account the car financing, other property financing, credit cards, personal financing, etc. So basically, we might think that, like I said before, the rule of thumb, which is 1/3 of the total income. So the DSR is basically 33% of a total net monthly income, but it's not the case because it will be assessed individually. So for example, the how the debt service ratio is actually calculated. So for incomes less than 3,000 ringgit is usually the maximum allowable TSR or debt service ratio will be 50% of the net income. This is just a guide, not a formula, just a guide. Just seem like the rule of thumb for 1/3 of the income. So if less than 6,000, so usually 70% of the net income, and less than 10,000, usually 80% of the net income. And then if our salary is more than 10,000, then 90% of net income. So basically, the lower the income we have, the lower the debt service ratio. And then the more difficult that we with low income group, and then we only have the maximum level ratio of 50% only. So that means we have to come up with very high cash in order to get a loan from financial institution. So basically, that's why the affordability issues become the main problems lately. So in terms of the average debt service ratio, you can see here. So basically, it is up to 2013. So you can actually update if you want to, based on the Bank Negara Malaysia website. You can get the average debt service ratio up to 2019. So basically, it plays around 40% only. 40%. So basically, the bank and financial institution will actually vary the maximum DSR, which is depending on the income. The higher the income, the higher the maximum allowable DSR that we have seen just now. If the income is more than 10,000, so basically you can get 90% of the allowable DSR. So if you assume for higher income earners, we'll actually have more disposable income. So the richer we are, the more easier our life will be. By right, should be the other way around for purchasing housing. Because for example, less than 3,000 ringgit per month, the household income, and then we have to come up with 50% of the total loan we applied for. So basically, we have to get the 50% because our incomes are already low. But the banks have to do that in order to avoid the creations of bad loans in the future. So if our income is high, more than 10,000, then we just pay 10%. But the rationale is when our income is high, so obviously we tend to purchase more expensive unit. So when our income is low, then we tend to purchase we want to purchase a cheaper unit, especially the unit that have been designed for middle income group. So in terms of the recognitions of our income, the banks and financial institutions actually recognize income which is based from the job income. So for a fixed income that we receive, usually 100% will actually be considered as our income. So for example, we are working with any company or any government departments, and then we have fixed incomes on monthly basis. So basically this income is valid already as a fixed income. And then for variable incomes, that means the income that we receive will actually be based, although we are on full-time basis, like a real estate agency, for example, real estate agent. So they have a very small fixed income, but this income will vary, which is based on the sales performance that they manage to close down. So if they have so many sales, so basically the commission will be higher, and vice versa. So basically this income won't be fixed. So usually only 70 to 80% of this income will be considered by the financial institution. However, for a fixed income, they receive even is small, that one will actually be considered 100% as the fixed income, and then the 70 to 80% will actually be based on the variable income. If we have extra unit and then we want to purchase another unit, so the extra unit that we have that normally for investors, so the extra unit will usually be rented out to the market. So basically the rental that we have can actually be used as supporting evidence of our income on top of our fixed income, if we have fixed income or variable income. And then we can actually use the rental. As long as we have the tenant, we can actually receive income from rental, and then this will actually be recognized up to 70 to 80%. So this is how do we create our wealth actually from one unit, and then we purchase another unit. So we have a tenant there. So the tenants, in terms of the rental, if we be a good investor, we should be able to get a tenant that is supposed that will actually pay a rental which is higher than the amount that we're supposed to pay to the financial institution. And then out of that income, 70 to 80% will actually be recognized as our income for the purpose of purchasing another unit. So for example, I believe that all of you, because we're in the final year, so basically all of you are actually staying outside, in section 17 area, or some of you maybe in other areas. So if you have transport, I believe that you tend to stay or to live very far. So the thing is, if you think logically, you and your friends, you stay together, so you pay about 2,000 ringgit per month, for example, or 2,500 ringgit per month for 4-bedroom double-story house in section 17. So basically, the owner is only paying about less than 1,000 ringgit per month to the financial institution. So basically, out of the income you pay, they are also making profit. So this is a good income evidence that will actually be recognized by financial institution. So based on that, they will actually approve more loans for the applicants, and then the applicants, I mean the people like us, the investor will actually purchase another unit somewhere. So basically, no issues. That's why most investors, they have 10 units or even up to 15 units out of their portfolio, property portfolio. So investment portfolio. So they have 10 to 15 units. So basically, they don't have to work anymore. But it all depends on the market situation. If the market situation becomes like we are having now, then they will be crying. So for example, you staying outside, but since 2019 is already more than a year, so basically the house become empty because you also have to go back to your hometown. And then if you go back to your hometown, I'm sure that you don't want to pay the rent. So this kind of situation, if we have more investment portfolio, that's why if you look at REITs, they always have, they tend to diversify. So just in case if anything happen to one sector, but the other sector can actually cover. Same thing for our investment portfolio. So I do not have more than 10 units because I'm also scared just in case something happen like COVID, unpredictable situation, because based on experience in 97, 98, so the same thing happened for the present. So basically, it all depends on how good we are to manage the property. Worst come to worst, we have to sell the unit. But the thing is, the unit price in terms of value is dropping. So towards the end, we'll be having a problem like what happened in 97, 98, when so many people bankrupt because they have so many units, and then the loans were still a lot at that time, and then no tenant to rent the units, and then their income is just good enough to pay for one unit. So basically, some of them have been declared bankrupt. So the fixed deposits and stock dividend is, we have fixed deposit with our financial institution, our banks, and then we also have stocks that we purchase. So basically, banks will actually accept the as a fixed income for fixed deposit, because we know the dividend that we have, and then usually it will be recognized up to between 70% up to 100%. And then the bonuses that we have from banks and the fixed income from the fixed income fixed deposit that actually produce bonuses will actually recognized by the financial institution. And then the typical profit rates for financings currently range from 1.8% if we go under a base rate, and then for base financing rates minus 2.5%. So the Islamic finance usually use the BFR, base floating rate. Sometimes they call base financing rate, so it doesn't make any difference, base financing or base floating. But the base rate, usually last time I'm sure you have heard of BLR, base lending rate. So base lending rate is basically the same as the base rate, but the base rate is the new names because once the Negara Malaysia started to calculate our income based on the net income, So basically, we use the base rate now. So the amount we actually be depending on the bank policy from time to time, and of course it's subject to the instruction or the policies adopted by the Bank Negara Malaysia, the Central Bank of Malaysia, and the repayment capability of borrowers in terms of the risk-based pricing, and the residential, commercial, or industrial financing will actually be offered on a different rate. So for the mortgages that we apply for each sector will actually differ in terms of the rate imposed by the financial institution, and in terms of the size of financings will also be different. For example, if the price for residential unit is more than 500k, and the BFR usually minus 2.3%, and then if less than 500k, the BFR minus 2.2% or lower. This is just as a guide, so you cannot use this for every calculation. So you have to check. You have to check the typical percentage offered by financial institution from time to time. So like now, the interest rate is very, very low, and it is a good time to purchase the unit. If you have money, you can ask your daddy. If your daddy is still, strong in terms of finance, in terms of the income. So this is a good time because now we are in a buyer's market. So we can jual mahal a bit. We can say that you take it or leave it. I'll take it or I will leave it. So now I want to purchase at this amount only 300,000. And then if the owner say no, we cannot give you 200,000, we still need 350,000. Okay, you want it, or you want me to leave? Something like that. So you become very nosy, very sombong now, because you know that this is the buyer's market. And then that's if we talk in terms of the sub-single unit. But for the new units, especially the unit under construction, obviously we cannot say something like that. But the developers will try to come up with so many incentives in order to attract the buyers. So basically, this is the things that in terms of the size of financings, and then the effective rates of new financing is about 4.35% to 5% for the ordinary market condition. So the base rate will actually tracks the OPR. So I always mention to you OPR, that means the overnight rate set by Bank Negara Malaysia every night. So basically, the rate will actually change if the Bank Negara decided to reduce the basis point of the existing rate on that day. So that means tomorrow we'll have low interest rate if the basis point is reduced, or if the basis point is increased, then we will have tomorrow. We will have a higher rate tomorrow. In terms of the financing tenure, like we have seen before, it is up to 35 years, and then for commercial or industrial, will be up to 30 years. So again, this is the figures that I have when the market was normal from 2008 to 2014. So basically between 5%, which is the average of 6%, and then the OPR has been adjusted almost every month. You can see here, for example, in March 2009, the BLR was 5.55%, and then the same thing for March the following year, 5.8%. So basically, you can check this from Bank Negara Malaysia website if you have interest in assessing for the base lending rate. But the present situation, like I said, under COVID, this is a very special situation because the BLR or BR or BFR already decreased, because we have no choice, because we have to activate the market. So the governments, that's why the government offer moratoriums, last time, to make sure that all the people have money, and then to make sure that the market is activated again. So once we spend within our domestic market, so basically the money will be in the country. So basically the market will actually be activated. So anything to discuss up to now?
Doctor, I got one question. Can you go back to the previous slide?
Which one?
Yes. You see the size of financings. If the house price is higher, which means that the interest rate charge will be lower. If follow the statement here.
Yes.
Huh? Why?
Capital count.
Because if we take more loan, and then the interest rate should be low a bit. So this is like quantum allowance, when you do valuation, the bigger the size of the land, so the depends on your comparable unit as well. But that's not a good idea to compare that. Maybe the other way around, or maybe we use the economic of scale. Okay, economic of scale. The more the units you produce, the less the cost will be. So that means if you apply to that concept to the loan, the higher the loan you'll get, so the better it will be, and then the cost of the loan will actually be lower. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay. So any other question?
Doctor, I have one more question. Regarding the risk-based pricing, what does that mean actually? In the same slide, there's a bracket.
So risk-based pricing. So basically, for the units that we are selling, will actually be the units that the banks will actually approve to the buyers, will actually depends on the buyer's capability to pay back the loan. That's why we have 5 C's that we have seen before. The 5 C's will actually be used to assess our capability. So if everything is good, we managed to get through the 5 C's. They don't tell us the 5 C's. They will do the assessment themselves. That's why it takes time, about 1 or 2 days. They cannot give a decision on the spot because they have to assess that. So basically, so they don't want us to breach the contracts for the first few years. So the same thing, they don't want us to refinance. That means to sell the unit within the first few years, because it's just something like wasting of their times. They expect us to be in the market for the next 30 or 35 years. If we do that, so the financial institution will be happy because they are making so much money. So basically, they will assess us in terms of the risk that we will be capable, to pay. So this is what is called the risk-based pricing. So that means the amounts, let's say 300,000 that we applied for, can actually be paid at 300,000. And then if we cannot, so what is the risk-based pricing for that property that the financial institution can actually offer us? So instead of 300,000, now they reduce it to 170,000 only. So that means we have to come up with 30,000. So if our income is low, So the debt service ratio will also be low, like we have seen before. If our income is less than 3,000, then the debt service ratio is 50%. So they don't want to give 100%. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Okay.
Doctor, I have one more question. Because at the very beginning, you just said that 30% of income as the minimum requirement for the installment repayment, and then you say no longer applicable in today's market. Is because of what?
So last time, uh, uh, um, so we use gross income as the base to 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 check our ability. The banks will actually use or estimate our gross income. For example, our gross income, gross household income is 5,000, for example. So the banks will actually calculate straight away 1/3 of 5,000. So that means about 5,000, about 1,200. 1/3. How much is it? 5,000 divided by 3. 3 times 1.6 or 1.7. 1,300.
No,
Yes.
1,600 something.
Yes.
1,600 something.
166.
Okay. So 1,600, the banks will actually calculate straight away. So your eligibility to purchase the unit now is up to 1,600 per month. So that was the rule of thumb used by financial institution before. But now we do not use the gross income anymore. Started from 2019, so the bank actually, the Bank Negara Malaysia actually come up with the new regulation that all the loan will be given based on the net income. So we will see afterwards how do we calculate the net income. So now it will be based on the net income. So basically 1/3 formula is not applicable anymore, but it still can use as a guide, just a guide. Whenever we want to, the bank want to advise you, you just go, and ask for it, and then the banks will tell you, okay, this is the basically the amounts that we can actually give you, but it is subject to final assessment or something like that. Okay.
Okay, Doctor. Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, so now we go to it's in this. Now we go to the example here. So the example here is for the age of applicant, which is 25 to 35 years old. Okay. I forgot to use a presentation slide. But was it okay when just now when I did not use the presentation slide?
It's okay for me.
So because we are very close to the computer screen, right? Shouldn't be any problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example here, the age of applicant is 25 to 35 years. And then if you have a wife or husband, so the combined income for the husband and wife is 5,000 ringgit. So maybe the husband got 3,000 ringgit, the wife got 2,000 ringgit. So the combined income is 5,000. And then based on the income, the household income that you have 5,000, so you have to pay the income tax, EPF, SOCSO, which is about 700 ringgit. And then this is also, we actually depends on government's announcement from time to time, like APF during PKP period, MCO period now has been reduced. But for the purpose of learning here, we just use 700 ringgit. Therefore, your net income will actually be calculated as the 5,000 ringgit your household income minus the income tax FPF so that you have paid. So basically, your net income is 4,300 ringgit. And then, in order to calculate the debt service ratio of 70%, let's say you want to come out with 30% of your money, whether the money come from your EPF account or the money come from your daddy, your mommy, or the money come from your own saving. So let's say you want to pay 30%, you want to get 70% of loan only. So in order to calculate that, 70% multiplied by 4,300. So basically, you only have 3010 here. So this is the DSR ratio of 70%. Therefore, whenever you want to get the loans, so the total debts or the total repayments per month cannot exceed 3010. That's the maximum. Maximum is 3010. That means if you purchase property with the repayment of 2,000, the bank will definitely approve. Or the payment which is less than 2,500, the bank will approve. But it is subject to other financial obligation as well. If you do not have any other financial obligation, so this is the amounts that the bank will actually use as the maximum that they can let you have the loan. So other financial obligations, for example, you have a car loan. So when you work, obviously you want to purchase a car. So the car loans, you are paying 500 ringgit per month, unless if you want to if you purchase a very good car, for example, you want to have a new lifestyle. For example, you don't care about your salary, like what I did before when I was a bachelor. So I just purchased very expensive car at that time, but my salary was not that high, but I managed to pay. But I was just wasting my money for the car, because the more expensive car that we have, the more maintenance, the higher maintenance cost it will be. So basically, I just spend more on the car, and then the credit card also. I got very high outstanding amounts at that time. So basically, that's the beauty of being a bachelor who have a good lifestyle. But now my lifestyle is very, very low. So basically, because I have a family, I don't want to be like before. Like when we go out with friends, enjoy ourselves, and then always have a party, always eat something that we are not we more than what we are supposed to eat. So all the expensive one. So basically, just a waste of time. But I don't have a good person like you have now. Your lecturer always advised you. I did not have anyone, like I told you before. I came back here, no one advised me. I just happened to be joined all the young key, who actually have very good lifestyle. So basically, it was not a good one. And then my lifestyle, because I graduated from UK Samoa, so I was there for almost 10 years. So basically, I tend to follow the lifestyle as well at that time, because I've quite a lot of British friends. So basically, when I come back here, I tend to follow the lifestyle do not think much. So basically, it was just a waste. But at least you people, you should thank your lecturer who always advise you. Although sometimes I'm a bit critical, not critical, something like to critics, blatter all the time. So at least you learn from us. You start from the beginning, once you graduate. Don't do like this, like this. Do not follow Dr. Rosli because he was not a good person. Like to spend money. So become your own self. I was my own self as well. So, but not in a good situation. And then nobody advised me how to in terms of real estate investment at that time. So basically, I only even when I've been in this profession, but only in the year 2000s and above, I started to come with my own strategies until now. But now I have my own um, minister of finance at home. So basically, the things become worse because she control my finance, my funds nowadays. So it's better. So when you graduate, it depends. It's not necessary to follow my advice. You can follow my behavior as well. It's up to you. But that's at least I'm advising you because I have a lot of experience in this case. So based on that, we have other financial obligation, car loan 500 ringgit. So it should be good enough for the start if you purchase only the car that good for us to keep us moving. We don't need a big car like I did before. So, but the main thing is, even I will advise you to purchase a cheap car but brand new, because you save in terms of the maintenance cost rather than to buy expensive car, but based on your ability, the expensive car you pay the same amounts, more higher amounts, but the maintenance cost will be higher. So you'll be in problem. So the credit card payment. So basically, do not have a credit card more than one for the start. So we know that all the financial institutions, when you go to hypermarket, etc., so they usually try to persuade you to have uh, extra to have credit card, even if you say that I already have, but they still persuade that, okay, I'll give you these presents, you'll get iPhone 12 if you get this one, for example. So basically, they try to convince you, and then towards the end you say yes, yes, and then by the end of the year you'll have 5 or 6 cards, and then the total outstanding, the total allowable withdrawal limit, maybe for each card you have about 10,000 or 15,000, and if you have 5 or 6 cards, so it will become uh, very much already. So when you do not think about the repayments like I did before, so I just spend, and then towards the end of the month, I know that I can afford to pay the total amounts. But luckily, my income was also good at that time. So basically, no need more than one credit card. Just take one for emergency purposes. The most is two. Take one Visa and one MasterCard. That's good enough. You don't need American Express or any other card. MasterCard and Visa card, because sometimes some places they do not take Visa card, but MasterCard normally it is recognized anywhere in the world. MasterCard, Visa card, not necessarily the case. The same for American Express. So worst come to worst is take one MasterCard only, and then you can control your budget easily. So your boyfriend or your girlfriend asks you to go out for a part two, you say that, oh, my credit card is full already. Unless if you spend for me, then I'll go out with you. Betul tak? Semua tak nak answer. Correct or not?
Not sure, Doctor.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then PTPTN loans, so definitely you have to pay. So out of the 3010 just now, so the total other financial obligation will be car loan 400 ringgit, credit card loan 400 ringgit, and a PTPTN loan 100 ringgit. So the total is 1,000 ringgit. So the
but doctor, but seems like nowadays some bank their policy actually they didn't take into account of PTPTN loan. Seems like there's some bank then didn't actually take into consideration of PTPTN loan.
Yeah, that's what I said. So it depends on the banks.
Okay.
They have different risk assessment, but the basic concept is the same, the 5 Cs.
Okay.
So the purpose why they do this, because they want to attract customers. They are competing between them.
Yeah. Because nowadays the loan really hard to get. So
Yes. So in order to get a customer, then they have to come up with good, strategies in terms of marketing their products. So basically, depends. So let's assume that these banks, we take PTPTN loan. To be safe, just use PTPTN loan.
okay.
And then total other financial obligations is 1,000. So the total financial obligation minus other obligation, the end figure will have 2,010 ringgit. So basically, the affordable levels of our monthly incomes based on 5,000 ringgit per month is 2,000 ringgit only. And then based on the 2,000 ringgit only, then you start to calculate based on the mortgage table that we have learned. You key in, plug in 2,000 ringgit, and then you know that how much, and then you plug in the interest rate, and then you know how much that you should be able to get for the loan, and then you start to find the property that suits your requirement. So for 2,000, I think the most you could get is 400,000 per month. But with the present interest rate, it can be higher a bit. But in terms of risk assessment, the bank will be strict. But under normal market circumstances, for 2,000 ringgit per month, you should be able to get around 400,000 to 420,000 loan. So you do the calculation, and then you try to find a property. And once you're happy to have that property, so basically it will help you because for some developments with good reputation, most people they tend to purchase more units because based on the experience. So the company or the developers come up with very good quality, good concept, etc. So basically, we also like to purchase more units from that particular developers, and then it's a lot easier for us to assess based on our income per month. And then in terms of condition of drawdowns, I think we don't have to go in detail because we have already discussed last time. So confirmation from developers that the individual borrowers have paid the difference between purchase price and the proposed loan. That means 10%, 20%, 30% depends on the down payment that we are supposed to pay, and then or acceptance of guarantee from the developer guarantee that this fella or this purchaser will actually use this and this to pay on monthly basis, and then certificate of work issued by the architect, etc. So now we try to see the right of borrowers. This one also we can go very quickly. The right to have access to all, the right to have access to all information that would affect the borrowing decision. So basically, borrowers must have access to all information that will affect the borrowing decision. That means transparent must be there. Whatever we ask the financial institution, they should provide us the answer, because we are the one who is going to take the loan and become their customer. And the right to be treated professionally, cautiously, and without prejudice. So like what I'm treating you now, I'm treating you professionally, cautiously, without prejudice. But sometimes I become angry, professionally angry, because you don't want to answer my tutorial question, but cautiously angry as well, but still without prejudice. Am I right?
Yeah, betul. Angry in professional way. Okay.
Oh, you also agree professionally?
And angry in professional
Oh,
way.
angry professionally.
Before I agree.
And then the right to be consulted on changes to the terms and conditions, the right to have accurate information on a regular basis, the right to enforce legal action in the event of a breach of a contract. And the duties of borrowers as well to read and understand all terms and conditions, to observe the terms and conditions, to inquire and get clarification on all aspects. So one thing is when you try to see the terms and conditions, because most of us try to make it a bit chinchai, because we don't want to waste our time. You know, we want the thing to be signed faster, because we think that if we do not pay, and the unit will actually be sold to someone else. Sometimes the agents, you know, they put you know, big maps whenever they do exhibition. So they put the sticker, whatever, to say that this unit have been sold, only a couple of units left. And then when you come back next month or next week, they change again. You know, you can actually observe that they just play with some marketing uh, strategies. The unit that you tried to purchase last time, which you think that it was sold, but now it is available. And then when you ask the agent said that, oh, because the loan has not been approved, so now it is available. But the fact is, some are true, but some you know, they are playing with psycho. You know, they try to psycho us a bit in order to tell that the units are very good in terms of the demand. So if you do not uh, pay now the deposit, then the unit will be sold to someone else. I always did like that, you know. No, in terms of when I go and try to purchase a unit, I always some of the unit I may seriously be interested to purchase, but some of the unit I just try to see whether it is true or not. So when they force me, not force me, they advise me to pay deposit, etc., because the unit will be sold to someone else. So I just make myself, you know, try to purchase, and then they get my phone number when I go home. For the next one whole weeks, they keep calling me every day to ask for my confirmation, whether I'm still interested or not. For me, if they really want to, if there is really a good demand, then just sell to other people. Why should they waste their time to persuade someone who are still not sure whether to purchase or not? So they play. That's why I said when we visit them, they come up with a good statement to persuade us. But when we go away, and then they try to persuade us. So Willie, are you here? Willie? So he come, and then he tried to cheat himself by telling us that his name is here, but he actually go somewhere else. Let me check his name. Okay, his name is not here anymore. Willie, are you here? Okay, not here. So, the right to inquire and get clarification on all aspects of the loan, to make prompt payments on the fees, charges, interest, so you can read through on this, and then the right of financial institution to have a full relevant disclosure. So whenever they interview respondent, interview people like us, the loan applicants, so basically we have to be honest because they are assessing our credit, and the right to correct and truthful information of the borrowers, right to timely repayments of interest and installment. If we are late for 3 months, so it will be considered as non-performing loan, and the right to enforce legal action in the event of default. So basically, this is the rights of financial institution, and the duties of financial institution to discharge a borrower's obligation as described in the loan agreement, and to consult borrowers on any changes made to the terms and conditions. Sometimes when the interest rate, especially for the variable rate mortgage, so basically the interest rate changes will actually affect our payments, so they will actually tell us. So the same thing for fixed rate mortgage, if the bank, the government Malaysia decided to reduce the basis point, so basically our monthly payment will be low, so they will advise us as well, and then to attend to all inquiries made by a borrower. So now we go to the price and payments schedule. Any question before we go on this? Up to the right of borrower constitution just now? If not, then we go to the schedule of payment.
No.
Okay, good. So the price and payment schedule. So the price is stated in the sale and purchase agreement, while the payment schedule for the work in progress is fixed under Schedule 3 of the sale and purchase agreement. So it will be there. When we sign the sale and purchase agreement, the schedule will also be attached together. So the buyer's payment schedule to the developer is as the third schedule of payments that we are going to see. So the third schedule of payment, it is you can find from the Housing Developers Rules 1969, where the payment of any progress payment can be negotiated between the developers and the purchasers. So the purpose is to rescue the loss of potential buyers, and then the developers reduce the amount of progressive payment with the repayment period extended. So this rule has been repealed because a lot of cheatings before, especially in the 1980s. But now the developers set out the Housing Control and Licensing Rules 1917, and then 1989, and then 2002. So amended amended and approved in year 2002. So this is referred to clause 4.1 as standard contract of sale. So you can see the contract of sale under the S&P agreement. The goal is to maximize the quantum of progressive payments. So that means we only take certain percentage 10%, 5%, 10%, 5%, something like that only, in order to protect the potential buyers. So the brokers cannot collect more than the maximum payments. It must be based on the 10% or 15% or 2%, depending on the stages of payment. Last time, 90%, and then the broker will take 90%, and then they just travel around the globe. And then we, as the purchaser, have to pay, because our contract is between the bank and ourselves, not between the developers and ourselves. As far as the developers, the contract between ourselves and developers is they have to deliver the unit. So once the unit is delivered, then we basically they have fulfilled the contract. But if they run away, like in the 1980s or even early 90s, so basically we cannot do anything because they declared themselves bankrupt. So that's why we have this schedule of payment. Like our contracts with a financial institution still exist no matter what happened, because like we learn from the mortgage concept last time. So basically, no matter what happened, they want to get back their principal. That's why the crisis or the problem of Highland Towers, if you're aware, Highland Towers, the development that collapsed in the 90s. So many people die in Bukit Antarabangsa there. So basically the units are not there anymore. And then the site condition also not that stable in order to redevelop the new developments. Always landslides over there. But because the contract between the purchasers and the banks, so they do not have the unit now, but they still have to pay. So the condominium was very expensive, high class one. The end products, located in very good situation, very good area, which we can actually see the view of KL from the top of the hill. But now, especially during a rainy season like this, everybody was scared. Even now, it's still scared. Because I used to have a project myself when I was with Ain'ni at that time. So basically, I deal with one project. I think more than 200 or 300 units. So basically, in terms of the demand at that time was good, but in terms of the environment also good, but we never expected to have so many landslides in the area. So basically, they still have to pay now because the contract is between the purchaser and the financial institution. Developers, they are not responsible now. That's why the government also try to fund the developers, but developers no longer exist. They declared themselves bankrupt already. So no choice. But for landed unit, at least we have the site. If the unit collapse, we still have the site. But this one is strata unit, so all the buyers cannot do anything. So now, through the third schedule of payments, the developers cannot get loan, cannot get the maximum value or maximum loan that has been approved by the financial institution. They can only claim a bit by bit based on their progress. And the developers cannot collect more than the maximum amount. If the excess payment occurred, the developers is responsible to pay back immediately. If the payback of excess payment is deferred, the developer can be charged on the interest rate. So now we see what the schedule of payments is all about in detail. All payment must be collected directly by third schedule payment. No developers is entitled to receive progressive payment in advance if the relevant stage is not yet billed or not yet achieved. So premature collection, or that means collections in advance, will not be allowed, and then we can actually report to the housing to REDA, to housing institution that actually look after our situation, buyer's problem. They are trying to help us. This is basically used to be a non-profit organization, but now they become very active in helping buyers issue. So in recent years, many developers use the sales gimmick by discounting the purchase price, which discounted amount is collected in upfront. So that means they collect upfront fee first. So this is basically illegal. You don't have to do that. This is an unhealthy practice of which the buyers are likely being cheated on the purchase price. So in this case, the loss of the entire purchase price is greater than the normal amount of 10% deposit. So last time we paid 10% deposit, worst come to worst, we only lost 10%. But now, when they use the sales gimmick, so basically we pay more than 10%. So if you want to have this unit, for example, this is very demanded unit. If you don't take it today, you will never get this unit anymore. Something like that. And then you also, they try to convince you, you pay more by paying upfront payment instead of paying 10%, and then you think that you also have saving in the bank account, another 20%, so you come up with another 30%, and towards the end you pay 30%. So it is basically prohibited. The figure that is allowed is only 10% down payment. And in fact, if they ask for more, you can actually report. So the payment of 10% deposit in advance before the signing of the sale contract is prohibited and can be prosecuted. The payment of 10% deposit in advance, that means you book the unit in advance. So basically it is prohibited. But if you, upon the signing of the sale and purchase agreement, you want to get from the financial institution, so you are allowed to pay 10% deposit in order to secure the unit you are purchasing. But some financial institution, they offer you 100% loan, especially during the bad market situation like now. And then current payment term is referred to the provision of 1989, which consists of the third schedule of contract. So basically we have several items here. Item 1, which is the post-contract. Item 2, which is the construction stage. So for the item 1, the post-contract, where the buyer is responsible to pay a maximum of 10% of the purchase price as a deposit upon the signing of SMP. Item 2, the construction stage, subparagraph A to F shows the level of construction stages, but the payment should not be made at every level. So that means depends on which level that have completed first. For example, if the internal or external passes are not ready, but the roads and drainage have been completed, therefore the payment on this stage must be paid first. That means the payment for the drainage, road and drainage will be paid first. All those under the schedule, the plaster, internal and external plaster come first. But if they completed this first, so basically payment will be allowed. So if the incomplete stage has been certified, the responsible person can be charged under professional negligence of this third schedule payment. So you can see here for item number 1, immediately after the signing of the sale and purchase agreement, so basically we pay 10%. This is what I mean here. This 10% is not supposed to be paid before we sign the SMP. If the developer asks you to pay 10% before you sign the SMP. So it is basically prohibited or illegal. But once sign the SMP, so you pay 10%. So within 14 days after receipt by the purchaser of the vendor's return of the completion of the foundation and footing works of the said building. So once completed the footing work, the foundation, so the developers can actually claim another 10%. And then once the reinforced concrete framework of the said building is completed, the developers can claim another 15%, and so on. The wall of the said building with doors and window frame placed in position, the roofing, electrical wiring, plumbing without fittings, gas piping, and internal telephone trunking and cabling to the said building, another 10%, the internal and external plastering of the said building, another 10%, the roads, drains, and sewerage works serving the said buildings, 15%. So all the stages here must be followed. But let's say if the road, drains, and sewerage works serving the said building has been completed first, as compared to the internal and external plastering of the said building, so that means the developers can claim 15% first before they can claim 10%, which has not been completed yet. So it's not necessary to follow the flow here. So on handling over of vacant position of the said building with water and electricity supply ready for connection, another 15%. Upon handling over the vacant position as in item 3, and to be held by the vendors, solicitor as stakeholder for payment to the vendors as follows: 2.5% for the expiry of 6 months, and then 2.5% for the expiry of 12 months. So the purpose of having another 5% and then split it into 2.5% and 2.5% because of the defect liability period. So during this time, once we get the key from the developers, so basically we can stay there, and then we have to wait for the first 6 months. So after the first 6 months, if nothing happened, we are happy with it, then 2.5% will actually be released to the developer. And then we wait until another 6 months, the expiry of 12 months period. After that, another 2.5% will actually be released to the developers. But if anything happens, that is the responsibility of the developers to remedy or to repair the problem. And then if they do not repair, that means 2.5% belong to us. If they do the duties, then 2.5% will actually be released after the first 6 months. And then after the 12 months period, so another 2.5%. The total loan altogether will be 100%. And then if we try to see the milestone, so the laws of Malaysia upon the signing of the SMP, like I have discussed just now, the developer is given 24 months for landed unit and 36 months for shelter unit to be completed. And then 95% of the purchase price is to be paid during the construction progress, and the remaining 5% will actually be paid after 6 months from the date of delivery of vacant position, and 2.5% after the title was issued, which is up to 12 months period. So in terms of the milestone, we can see here milestone 1, 2, 3 up to 10. So the months of payments will be, let's say, months 0. So we pay 10. And then after 3.5 months, this is under normal market circumstances. Sometimes a little bit, it will affect this a little bit because of the economic situation like now, COVID-19. So obviously, we can use this, as a payment milestone because the times are differs already. So basically, under normal market circumstances, so we have every 3.5 months to complete one progress. So This is, the total progress 10, 10, 15, 10, 10, 10, like we have seen just now. So basically it takes about 3.5 months to claim every progress, provided the project is on a good track record. So when selling the SMP, so basically only 10% of the retail price can be collected. Like I mentioned just now, on the average, the developer is estimated to take about 3.5 months to collect progress payment. So now we have a tutorial. So tomorrow we'll have a tutorial, 2 tutorial. If you do not prepare, then I would consider it as a finish when the time comes. So basically next week we'll try to finish another 2 tutorial. So basically we should be able to finish all the tutorials. And then the test, like all of you agree. So basically we'll have it on Friday next week. Now it's week 13, right?
Now it's week 13.
Okay, so we'll have a test in week 14 on Friday. So I will release the question from 9 o'clock. I don't have the question yet, so I also don't know what to ask. So basically, try to study between week 7 up to week 13 up to today. Try to study that one, that lectures. So basically, I will release the question between 9. Or is there any specific time you want to have, Susan?
The day doctor informed me the time will be 10 to 12 p.m.
Oh, 10 to 12 p.m. Okay. So I will release your question between 10 and then you have to submit before 12 p.m. So as usual, I expect you to answer. You only need between 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes. But if you tend to answer up to the maximum of 2 hours, then toward the end you won't be able to submit your answer. So last time for the first test, 1 or 2 of you did not manage to submit, but I still accept it. But this time I want you, I won't accept it because I want you to train for your final exam as well. Your final exam, even if you are late for 1 minute, so under UM's rules, so basically we cannot accept your answer because that is the rules. And then the exam, the final exam will actually be handled by the although we will actually post the question extra, but that's why we need a spectrum to be answered using spectrum. So basically we cannot do anything if you submit even 1 minute late. So in order to train that, I will do the same thing for next week exam. You have to be careful with the time, because last time 2 of you submitted very late and then I still accepted because I don't want to spoil you. But this time I'm warning you in advance, don't do like that again. So please submit, because your answer, you need to answer between 1 to 1 hour 30 minutes, and another 30 minutes is preparation. If you started late, then that's your issues, not our issue. So please help yourself. Do not appeal to me afterward, because I want to train you for the final exam. Final exam will be more tricky, because you only have 2 hours to answer 2 questions. Okay, so is there anything to ask before we stop for today? I think I'll stop presenting now.
Doctor,
Yes.
the spectrum actually is down and some of us unable to sign in the attendance.
Did?
Yeah.
But some of you, what do you mean some of you?
I think all of us.
Yeah, I think
All of you.
we can access spectrum.
So for all of you is okay, but for if few of you manage to do it, but the rest cannot do it, then I have to justify, you know.
Doctor, I can sign very early, like 8:45 or 8:46 something, but afterwards, when 9 a.m. the spectrum is down and almost everyone cannot sign the attendance.
Okay. Do you want me to open it again? Unless if those who have actually recorded agree, because you have to record again. If you do not agree, then I don't want to proceed. Do you want to have another attendant for this?
I'm not sure when the spectrum can be accessed again.
Okay, never mind. I just put a note there. The spectrum downs, then not because of you sabotage, you know, because you have. Oh, I'm recording this. I'm trying to make a joke, but I'm still recording this. I start recording now. Okay. So I'll put a note there. No worries, because it affects all of you. A few of you managed to record the attendance, but I know that the majority of you who are here in the morning, although some left already. That's why I try to double check, call your name just now. Okay, so I think we stop now. Next week is test, and then tomorrow please prepare the answer for 2 questions. Whenever I call your name, I don't want to see the same person answering the question. Tomorrow I will call your name randomly. If you don't do it, do not come to my class, to my tutorial. So please, you want to come, please do it. And then we start from whatever you started whenever I ask you to answer. Okay, so I think we stop now. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Okay, bye.